Eva Green says justice prevailed after court win over film collapse. Actress Eva Green said justice prevailed after winning her high court battle with the production company over the collapse of an abandoned sci-fi film. The 42-year-old sued White Lantern Film after production on A Patriot was shuttered in October 2019, claiming she was entitled to her $1 million, £810,000 fee for the film, despite its cancellation. Under the terms of their agreement, White Lantern Film and lender SMC Specialty Finance, SMC, brought a counterclaim against Ms. Green, alleging she undermined the independent film's production and renounced the contract. In a judgment on Friday, Mr. Justice Michael Green found in Ms. Green's favor, ruling she was entitled to the fee and dismissing the counterclaim. This was not part of some unlawful conspiracy or deceit, the judge said. In a statement after the ruling, the actress said, "I fought tooth and nail to defend the beautiful film that I loved and had signed on for. A film that spoke of a cause I hold dear, climate change, and warned of the resource wars and mass migration that would occur if we don't address the problem. I stood my ground, and this time, justice prevailed." During the trial in London earlier this year, Max Malin KC, for White Lantern and SMC, said Ms. Green showed a categorical and unequivocal refusal to perform. But Mr. Justice Michael Green said the allegation Ms. Green renounced her obligations under the agreement has the feel of being constructed after the event in order to be able to mount some sort of defense to the claim brought by Ms. Green, adding it was based on false evidence from witnesses. He added, "There is no doubt that Ms. Green did not make any conclusive decision or statement that she would not comply with her obligations under the artist agreement. Nor could anyone have reasonably understood her to have made such a decision." Ms. Green, who was cast as Soldier Kate Jones in the dystopian thriller which was also set to feature Game of Thrones star Charles Dance and Twister star Helen Hunt, said there was a serious lack of preparation for the film, such as an absence of stunt training. The court heard from one of the assistant directors on the project who said the proposed studios in Hampshire were like a morgue and were an aircraft hangar with leaks and no soundproofing. However, Ms. Green said, "If I had been called to set, I would have done this film even though it would have been a disaster." Referencing messages sent by Ms. Green to her associates, Mr. Justice Michael Green said, "When she says we have to pull out or we are pulling out or we had to get out, these have to be understood in the context of a heightened emotional state where Ms. Green is venting her fury at executive producer Jake Seal, and the state of the production of the film she is desperate to make. She is being open with the people she trusts." The judge continued, "She recognized that she could still be forced to make the film in those circumstances, which itself assumes that she had not withdrawn her services under the artist agreement." During the 11-day trial, the court was told Ms. Green described potential crew members as shitty peasants, the production as a B-shitty movie, and Mr. Seal as pure vomit in other private messages. Ms. Green is also said to have described Mr. Seal as a sociopath and a real mad dictator who wants to prove he is right so he could be ready for anything. However, Mr. Justice Michael Green found she may have said some extremely unpleasant things about Mr. Seal and his crew at Black Hangar. But this was born from a genuine feeling of concern that any film made under Mr. Seal's control would be of very low quality and would not do justice to a script that she and the former directors were passionate about. Discussing Mr. Seal's time in the witness box, the judge added, "I have to say that, having heard him give evidence, I can see how it might be possible to take an instant dislike to him. In giving evidence he was at times patronizing, sarcastic and denigrating. I found him to have an innate aggression and can understand why Ms. Green and others might have been displeased to be told that they had to make the film under his full control," he continued. Mr. Justice Michael Green also said the actress, who gave oral evidence at the High Court in London over 2 days in January, was in some senses a frustrating and unsatisfactory witness, adding she was surprisingly underprepared. During her evidence, Ms. Green blamed her Frenchness for a message describing a producer and writer on the film as weak and stupid. But the judge said, "I understand the torment it must have been for her to have all her private texts and WhatsApp messages revealed in open court and scrutinized for what they disclose about her true state of mind and intentions in relation to the film." She said it was humiliating, but some of her explanations for the language she used and the feelings she expressed, such as they were down to her Frenchness, were not credible or adequate. However, I do think allowances need to be made for the heightened emotions that were clearly present when some of the messages were written, and for the fact that these were assumed to be personal correspondence between friends that would never have been imagined to be seen by anyone else, and certainly not analyzed to the extent they were.